Do we have anybody joined us yet? Hopefully. Hi Bonnie. Hi Kathy. Yay, you guys are here. Hey, how are you guys doing? Hey Dorothy. Hey Sheila. Hey Jamie. Hey Sue. I'm going to give it a minute or two, let some more people join in. Hey Debbie. Hey Sonia. You guys, I hope everybody's having a good day. Just a little bit of news while we're waiting for some people to come in. I got my doctor's reports back. The biopsy they did on my nose is benign, no skin cancer, thank goodness. And I do not have lupus, just a vitamin D deficiency. So, thanks, Sue. I made that. Print and cut. Print and cut. Hey, Patricia. Is everybody ready to play Winner Winner Chicken Dinner tonight? Thanks, Jamie and Dorothy, everyone. It is awesome news. Okay, we have quite a few people here already, it looks like. We are going to do a couple of add-on things today. Let me switch over to the project camera and show you guys a couple of things, and then we'll play Winner Winner Chicken Dinner. Hey, Pamela. Let me get us over to the project camera. I had to reboot just before, like 3 minutes before coming in. I had to reset everything because my project camera would all of a sudden decided it didn't want to work. But I got it fixed. Here we go. Okay, a couple of things that we're going to cover today, which is the bunny box, which is the personalized box. And all we did was we added some Easter elements to it. And then I redesigned the handle. I did two handles because what I originally had in mind was like an Easter basket type box. And I wanted the handle to be there, but I wanted to be able to get the lid off so that if they were hunting the little candies and stuff like that, they could still use the box in that manner. But I've also got to thinking some people might just want to be able to use the box with a handle that would move out of the way. So I redid the file and I added two box bottoms to the file, and I altered the handle for the one so that it is movable. So we have one that's going to be stationary and one that is going to be a movable handle. So we're going to cover those tonight in the videos. And it's just going to be a quick recap. I've done mine out of brown craft paper, and that's what we're going to use. And a little update, I have been working on the explosion box, and I accidentally threw my lid in the garbage, and they picked up. But anyway, the explosion box is in the works, and we're going to be putting the box together next Wednesday in answering design space questions. And then on Friday, I am closing this back up so it doesn't flop everywhere when I put it down. On Friday, we're going to do the inserts for it. So that's what we have planned for next week's videos. This is, let's skip that for a minute. This is the technique that this one, don't look at this one. This was my first one, and it's banged up and dented up because I've been abusing it on purpose to see what would happen. This one was just done and sealed with a spray paint, and then I put Cricut foil vinyl on it. I soaked it for a week in dishwater, and the Cricut vinyl is not lifting. But anyway, we're going to go over the technique. I use Dollar Tree cups to practice with. A lot of people wanted to learn how to do this, so we're going to go over that tonight too, added to our stuff. So that was an little added project. This is winter chicken dinner prizes. I have some, oops, there it is. Some Mickey breads and some rhinestones. I don't know if you guys can see those. And a little chalkboard. You're also going to get a shaker kit and some snap cards. And you can use these in different ways. And you may even want to use these on that explosion box next week. So, and winter chicken dinner is going to get $1 million bar too. So, of course, that's chocolate. I wish it was real and I could do that, but that's what the winter chicken dinner winner is getting tonight. So let's switch over to winter chicken dinner real quick and we'll play that. And I'll do a countdown, guys. And when I do the countdown, first person to answer correctly wins. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Alice. Wanda and Alice, I want to say thank you for helping me out with the Easter box this week, and Bonnie too. They helped test it to see if the handle could be figured out without instruction, things like that, because I like to kind of test some of those things to see how much instruction everybody's going to need on a project. And I thank you guys for doing that. Sue, Jamie, I don't know if Catherine and Tina are here, but I always want to give a special thanks to the moderators of the groups and in the live videos for coming and helping us out. Guys, they do this on their own time. They don't have to do this at all. So I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you guys respecting them and helping them whenever you can. Okay. Winter chicken dinner. The question this week is, and I'm thinking about doing a shirt with this design on it, guys. I don't know yet. I haven't decided on colors or anything, but that's what we have for our splash screen. The question is, what was the last official Cricut post made by me earlier today about? 3, 2, 1. We're about to find out who's been paying attention in the rooms to some of the things that we post. Nope, it was not winning the maker. That was an official Cricut post. That was not the last one I made. There was another one. Look on your Facebook, guys. See where it's at. Okay, we're going to go ahead and carry on, but the first person who gets it is going to win. So whoever posts from here out, whoever gets it is going to get the little prize package for winter chicken dinner. And while we're doing that, I'm just going to transition back over to the project camera and we'll get started on the box. Wanda! Wanda is right. It was the new Cricut Crafter News. That was the last official post. It was how to join the Cricut Crafter Noon community. You can win stuff from that, guys. I mean, it's a very nice prize that they send if you do that. Reuse, recycle. That's right, Debbie, that's right. But Wanda got it first. It was the Cricut Crafter Noon. And Wanda, I will get that in the mail to you. You're a Patreon, so I have your address. Not a big deal. You don't have to do anything. I'll send that out. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on the project. Now, I just did mine out of brown craft paper, guys, but we'll start with the lid, okay? And I didn't cut all the pieces. There's no need for me to cut all the pieces because I'm going to show you guys. When you get your lid, it's going to be scored around, and you're going to go around that score line, and you're going to fold around your score. I find it easier on these boxes to do that fold first because you have some bulk to work with and it's not already folded over for the back side. So these tabs, they kind of get in the way. So that's the first thing you're going to do is, and I'm working with craft paper, so it wants to be stubborn here. Your cardstock or whatever it is you're working with shouldn't be that difficult. I find craft board easier to work with than this cheap craft paper. The craft, it just doesn't give a smooth line always. The Facebook page, Sandra, is www.facebook.com/groups/cricket crafting. That's one. And then you'll see the other groups. They're all in there from there. We have cards and cuddle bugs. We have Cricut Maker projects. And then Patreon has their own little group. So once you've folded your tabs, you're going to have something like this. Okay? Then you're going to fold in your side tabs. Again, this is the lid. And everything is folded away from you on this, guys. Everything. So all your score lines just have the top up at you and fold it away. For those of you who have not made this box, the rest of you guys already know this. And then you're just going to glue those 4 tabs to the inside. Okay? For time's sake, I'm just going to use a tape runner and dab mine so that we can move on to the cup and the handles of the box. Thank you, Jamie. But this box is a really fast box, guys. Very easy. It can be changed up. It's very, very versatile. So once you've done that, you have your box top. And of course, I don't have anything cut out of mine because I just cut a basic top. I didn't cut the bunny or the basket. Some of you guys, if you're patrons, you have the bunny file and you've cut that. If you're not a patron, you can create that file. I used Access Images to create it. Just by using a box lid. You can slice the other one out, or if you have the other file that doesn't have one in it, then you can use that one. Once you have this done, you're going to flip it over, and you're going to either run your tape runner or a bead of glue around the inside of the lid, and you're going to place your clear acetate piece, which is, I believe, blue in the file. Okay? That's what's going in there. And then you're going to have a square frame piece. That piece goes over the acetate to finish out the lid and give it a finished look. It doesn't go on the top, but you can cut one and put on the top if you want a border on the top. But that piece does go to the inside of the box over the acetate. And then that will complete your lid portion, and it will look, once completed, let me get my lid here, like this. So you have your box lid, you flipped it over, and you put your acetate in, and then you put your frame in, and you finished it off. Okay? That's all there is to the lid. Very quick, very easy. Then we have the bottom of the box. Now, depending on which handle you cut, I'm just going to show you guys how the handle goes together. If you cut the one that is stationary and does not move, your end pieces are going to look like this. If you cut the one with the movable handles, your end pieces look like this. Okay? So that's the way that they should look, just like that. This is the centerpiece, and your decorative flower goes on the top. And then you have these 2 side pieces. It's scored on one end. Okay? And you don't need to fold that if you want your handle to be arched. You don't fold. That is just a guide for where to glue this piece. Okay? And that's where you will tack that piece on. I'm about to show that, Alice. So you're going to, I'm just using, like I said, a tape runner for time purposes. But you're just going to line that up on that score line. okay? And then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other. The score line is just a guide. It's not a fold. So then your handle looks something like this. Now, depending on which handle you have, you'll put those pieces on, and you're just going to line up the little decorative edge to that piece of the decorative edge so that it keeps the decoration on the edge going in a cohesive manner. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys how to do this one, but I'm actually going to use this one because I've already done the other, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's just go ahead and finish the handle. And I'm just lining those up like so. So when you're finished, if you're using the movable handle, it's going to look like this. Okay? And if you're using the stationary handle, it's going to look like this. And that's the way the handle goes together. All right, so let's set that to the side and let's do the box. This is the box without any holes in it, but it does have 2 slits cut. Okay, this is for the stationary handle if you use this one. And you're just going to fold it. Both box bottoms go together the same, okay? So let me just, since this is the one that hasn't been tested yet, I'm going to do the movable bottom. But both boxes are identical as far as their assembly. Fold your sides up on all 4 of the score lines, just like you did with the lid. And then fold your tabs in. I really should be using a bone folder with this craft paper, but I'm just temporarily tacking mine for now. I'll use this later. And then you're just going to glue your tabs, just like you did with the lid, to the inside. Keeping your box as square as you possibly can. And since you guys may be gluing, I'm just going to go ahead and tape the other box real quick. I should have folded once for time purposes before I came on, but I had to fix a project camera. It'll take a second anyway. Okay, so no matter which bottom that you chose or which handle you chose, your box should look like this, okay? Now, if you chose the standard stationary handle, at this point, it's going to be attached to your base here. You're just going to insert it. Well, first, I'm sorry, you want to fold it right here to make it in an L. Just fold that tab flat, almost like it will stand up by itself. Okay? Once you have that folded, you're going to insert it into that slit on the box, and then you're going to open up the box and fold it down and put your glue and glue it to the bottom of the box. And that's the only place you're going to glue that, right to the bottom of the box. And then you're going to take the handle over to the other side, and you're going to insert it into the other slit. If I can get it in there. Again, fold it up on the side there and put your glue. And then, oops, keep it lined up. I'm using tape instead of glue, so it's kind of, and just stick it to the bottom. Okay, so then you have these tabs on the bottom glued down. This is where your square panel goes in. So that piece that's white, hi Reba, that piece that's white in the file with the box bottom, that square piece is going to cover these tabs to make it finished. So that when you're done, if you notice, my handle's brown, but you don't see those tabs on the bottom of the box because I covered it up. Okay? So that's the way that the box bottom should look if you use the stationary handle. And if you're using the movable handle, of course, I don't have any flowers on mine, guys. The center of the flowers are on the bottom down here, and then I used the others. But you can decorate your handle any way you want to. For the movable, you have a hole in the side and a hole in the handle, and you're going to need a couple of brads. Okay, that's all you're going to need. And you're just going to pop them in that hole. And the hole is slightly large, and I did that so it would be movable and wouldn't be tight. Okay, but if you have a smaller brad, you can close that hole up by welding a smaller circle over that one and just cutting your hole a little bit smaller. This one is cut at 0.250. So if you want to make it smaller, take it down to about 0.125, you can. Okay? And so that will create the movable handle. And I wouldn't, you can take and cut a circle. I just didn't have time and put over this because you really don't want this piece to move. So that, especially if you're giving it to kids, so they can't get it out, put a circle or a square or something over that, a decorative flower, anything on the bottom of the box, and that will hide your brads on the center, okay? And then that's going to give you that movable handle. So both of the bottoms are in the box, and you have can pick either one that you want. If you have really, really, really small kids, I would probably go with the stationary handle. If they're 4 or 5, then, you know, just glue something over the brads on the inside so that they can't take them out and get choked on them. Okay, are there any questions on how this goes together? Alice, your score lines don't show. Okay, this is the issue with score lines. Okay, I could barely see them on this material. I mean, they just barely showed up. But when I use like craft board, they're very, very pronounced. I can see them very well, and they fold very well. And the difference is this material is not very thick, and it's hard. And then when I put it on my hard mat, the Cricut is just scoring a line to show you where it's at. You can always lay it on the edge of a table and bend it that way, or put your scraper behind it to help you bend it. But it's just basically going to mark where you need to fold at. That's basically all it does. Okay, so if you have something like this, it's not going to be very pronounced. Whereas if you use a softer paper or a thicker cardstock, your lines become more pronounced. If they're not very pronounced at all and you need it to do more, let me show you what you can do. I'm just going to close this out and I'll leave that page. Here's the box that we just did, guys. I meant to pull this up. But here's the stationary handle one, here's the movable handle, and you'll need all the rest of this. But let's just say, let me ungroup this. And I'm going to close this out. I'm not going to save this because this is a live file for you guys. And it's design 8379951 if anybody needs it. Let me just get all of I want to get this one out of the way. Let me get it where it's workable. Okay, let me bring that back up so you guys can see. Okay, here's the box bottom, and let's just say that for whatever reason, I guess I better transition over so you guys can see this. Here is the box bottom right here, okay? And let's just say that the score lines are not pronounced well on whatever material that you're using. I am going to come down here and I'm going to detach, okay? And I'm going to select just the score lines because they're all attached, okay? And I just need that. And I am going to duplicate it twice. So I have 3 of them now. I'm going to select it all. I'm going to align it center. And then I'm going to attach. Now, when it scores, it's going to score 3 times before it cuts, giving me a more pronounced score line. So that's how you can get around that if you're using something like the craft board that I was using. Hey, Sheila. Does that make sense, Alice? Does that help you guys with the score lines and stuff? So just so you know, it's going to be hard to get. I know a lot of you guys are used to getting a really deep score like on your scoreboards and your trimmers. Let me just bring this over. With something like this with the trimmer where you have the deep score here and you have the scoring blade, I don't have the scoring blade in, and you score it, you're going to get a very deep score, okay? But you're not going to get that on that hard mat, on that hard surface of the Cricut and that scoring tool, but it is going to leave you a line. And you can bring that piece over to your trimmer, put your scoring blade off the bottom in place of the blade, and then you can rescore it and get that deep score. It takes a few more minutes, but basically it's just going to mark where you're supposed to score at without damaging the paper, so that you can put it on scoreboard or you can put it on, I usually just put mine on the edge of a table. With craft board like this, instead of folding it like you see me do here, most of the time when I'm doing mock-ups and stuff, I do put it on my trimmer and score it so that I can fold it so I can check folds and make sure they're in the right place. It doesn't matter, Kathy, to me. I mean, I just score it. If it's something like this box, say it was, if it was a foil or something of that nature, I would probably score it on the bottom. I would check a scrap of it and see which way looked better, if that makes any sense, to see if it would damage the top coating of whatever my specialty paper was. If it would damage the top, then I would score it on the bottom. But generally, if I score on the top, that means it's going to be a valley fold. And if it's scored on the bottom, to me, it's a mountain fold. Here, let me show you the file number again, guys. Or maybe it'll let me. I don't know if it'll let you guys open it, but I'll try. See if you can click it, if the link is clickable. If not, you just want to put in this https design.cricut.com /hashtag/design/ and then the number. You can open up any of your projects and just change the number and then hit enter and it'll switch over. All right. So that's the box. Did anybody have any questions on a box assembly? And that was for the This is the stationary handle. And then we redid the file and I did a movable handle. But this is the file that I just gave you guys. Right here. The one with the Easter basket on it. Which is going to be cute with some peeps and all that kind of stuff at the top. I'm going to try to put green down at the bottom. So, that's the end of those.
It's 8 o'clock.
Let me set those out of the way. How fast was that? 30 minutes to do a box. Actually, 2 boxes. Set undeliverable for you? Okay. This is the number that you need. Open up any Design Space project. Any Design Space project. Just open it to the canvas and change the number on the end to that number and it'll open. Yeah, I think YouTube blocked some of the links. I don't know why. I forgot to get a couple of my items out. Guys, I'm just using freezer paper here. For this cup because it can be messy. I'm going to tell you guys that now. It can be messy, so make sure you protect your surfaces and your hands. And I'm just kind of preparing that. Now we don't have time to do the entire process of making one of these cups because it takes hours, okay? Get yourself the dollar plastic. This one was red. That's why it shows pink. It was a red cup for $1, left over from Christmas. And I spray painted it with a light coat of white spray paint or off-white spray paint. That's all I had. Tan works better. You want tan. You do not want like French vanilla, something of that nature. You want to get a good tan colored paint. So I painted this one dark brown and then just went lightly over it with white, and I'm testing it. We're going to see if it works, okay? But I'm going to show you guys how to do this wood grain technique. And that's 2 different colors. That's why it looks that way. I said this is my practice project. Okay, here's the first one I did. Like I said earlier, I've been beating it up. Some people, I've done some research on these and watched some videos, and I'm testing out what they say. Some of them put their vinyl on and then they peel it off to do this. On this one, I had a couple of mistakes. It's rough in a couple of spots, like right there. I was going to do it 2-tone wood, and my vinyl stuck to it. You do not want to use 651. You want to use stencil vinyl, or I'm going to say Oramask 813. I have not tested that yet, but you don't want to press it down really hard. You just want to kind of lay it on there, and you want to let your cup cure in between. So I'm going to tell you the steps, and then that's where we're going to go. But just for the record, I put this Cricut adhesive foil on the outside after I was done. And the next morning, I stuck it in dishwater and I soaked it for a week. Didn't lift. It hasn't done anything. Looks just like it did the day I put it on. So if you're thinking that the Cricut adhesive vinyl won't hold, it will. I have another cup that I did, and I've been washing it in the dishwasher top and bottom rack for a year now, and the finish is coming off the cup, but the adhesive vinyl is not. That adhesive foil. So you have options on doing this. So what I did is, like I said, I took a stainless steel cup. The first thing you want to do is clean it well, and I used denatured alcohol. This cleans glass, it cleans everything. Be careful if you use this because this is meant for burning also, and it burns clear. So if you smoke and stuff like that, please do not do that around this stuff. If you have it on your hands, you will be on fire and you will not know it because you cannot see a flame. It burns clear. It's not a blue flame or an orange flame. It's clear. So be very careful if you use this. You can use regular rubbing alcohol. That will just take every bit of residue off of something. And when I'm painting something, I clean it and get everything off so I don't have any flaking or anything. So once you've done that and you've cleaned it, and I do wear gloves when I'm handling it in between the cleaning and prepping. I wear gloves the whole time so I don't get my fingerprints and the oils on it. I just taped off the inside rim, okay? And then you're going to paint your cup and let it sit for 24 hours. If it's sticky whatsoever, it is not ready. Okay, I will check the link and see what's going on with that link. I don't know why. It's public. I don't know why it's telling you guys that. But we'll check it out. Because I think, I forgot who said, Alice said that it wouldn't open yesterday, and then I sent it again, and she was able to open it. I don't know if it's because I have it open here or not, but I'm just going to close it out, and we'll see. Okay, so once you've painted the cup, you've prepped it, and you've painted it, and it's dry, it's not sticky. And I have no gloves. I think I have one. I have to go to the store and get some more. I have one glove here, which I'm going to use because I don't want to get the stuff all over me. The numbers work. Okay, that's what it is. It's probably, I don't know, it's because I'm in there. You can use regular alcohol, but I'm using alcohol blending solution that's made for the alcohol inks. And I am using the Ranger, the Tim Holtz Ranger alcohol inks. This one is teakwood, and this one is espresso. Espresso is the one I'm going to use. When I did this one, I used the teak. And if you'll notice, I don't know if it looks yellow to you guys. It doesn't look as, it looks very yellow on the camera to me. But in person, it is not that yellow. But teakwood does have a yellow undertone. My husband's a color expert, and he said it has a yellow undertone. That paired with the French vanilla color that I used underneath on this cup made it turn yellow when I sprayed my top coat on it. It yellowed up a little bit from the original, I don't know if you can see the colors, the original color that it was. Those are the teak woods. That's the difference. So that's what happened when I sprayed the top coat on it, which is what was suggested by the people that were doing these, where I did my research. This is what they used. Mine yellowed up. I wasn't happy with it. So I'm not going to do that with this one. On this one, I am going to use the clear coat, the amazing clear coat, and you can get this at Hobby Lobby. This is FDA approved. It's $20.99, but it'll do a ton of cups, guys, a ton. You don't use very much. It'll do bunches of them, and you can use your 40% off coupon, so it's not very expensive. So now we've gone from cleaning the cup, taping off the rim, painting it, and now we're going to do the technique. All you want is just an old chip brush. Several of the people I saw doing these were using several different colors of the alcohol ink, and I didn't find it necessary. I found that one color works perfectly fine. Okay? And if you guys have questions during this, please just ask. I know there's a little bit of a delay, but I will answer you. So I'm just putting a little bit of the blending alcohol ink in the cup in case I need it. I may not even need it. But you can use regular alcohol. I think it's 91%. You can use this. Do not be scared of this. If you don't like the way it turns out, guess what? At this point, you can take it off and do it again. So there's no need to worry about messing it up. And I'm just going to take the cap off. And then you're just going to hold your cup. I just put it on my hand. And then you're going to drip some ink. And you're just going to drag that out. Okay? That's all I've done. And I know it looks kind of weird right now, but I am going to drop another drop or two, and you'll get the hang of it. And I'm just going to drag it out till it dries. Just keep dragging till it dries. And then another drop. The hardest part about this, guys, are the knots. And they're not really hard. And you can, the more color you put, the darker it's going to get. But all I'm doing is dropping this in different places and dragging it out. And leaving some of the dark edges. See if you can see that. Getting some of those dark edges there. Bringing it all the way up to the rim. And you can stop dragging at any point that you want to give you those dark edges. And for a knot, I'm just going to put a knot right there. I just dropped it. And I'm just kind of doing a stipple effect. Like so. That's all I did was just tap up and down. Okay? And then I'm going to drop another drop right there where that is. And I'm going to stipple and then drag it out because it's going to lighten up where that other ink was. Giving it that knot effect. And then after it's just about dry, I'm just going to keep dragging. Okay, we'll work on it in just a minute, Sheila. And then you just want to continue on. And you can come back later and put all your knots in, or you can do them as you go. And I think that I'm getting a better wood grain effect with the speckled effect paint, but I don't know. I'll see once it's completely dry and cured. But if you guys use a tan paint, just go ahead and do a solid coat. And like I said, get a Dollar Tree cup and practice on it instead of using your $10 or $20 cups or your Yetis. And I'm just going to put a knot up here at that edge. Just by stippling, I'm doing the same things. And if I want that just a little bit lighter, I'm going to dip this one in a little bit of alcohol. Don't have my... I just dipped a little bit of alcohol to lighten that up some. And then I'm just going to drag it. Giving it real dark right there at the top. And then bringing it out. Anybody have any questions on how I'm doing this? I'm just overlapping. Giving those dark areas, but I'm just brushing it. Kind of like a dry brush. And don't forget the bottoms either. You want to get the bottom of the cup as well. And it's the same process, just a smaller area to work on. Can put a knot on the bottom too. I usually put a knot on the bottom. I don't know why it says that it can't be opened. It's a public file. But like I said, some of the guys doing this are using 2 or 3 different colors. I'm not finding it necessary to do that. I really didn't see much difference because you can lighten the inks up by going over an area again. If you're not happy with an area, the way it looks, put another drop of ink on it and pull it out again. I am using my brush sideways like this, guys. I do like this when I'm trying to blend an area, but for the most part I'm keeping it elongated. And I'm doing short strokes and long strokes. I think I'll put a knot right there. Oops. It ran on me. You can blow on them. You can get all sorts of shapes out of them. And that one just messed up, so I'm just going to go back over it. And then drag it. Let it dry for a minute and I'll drag it again. Some of them do take the alcohol and just drop a little bit on there. I am kind of chicken. I have not done that yet. Because, well, I've done it, but to me it made a mess. And this brush just has some of the blending alcohol on it. There we go. Just to lighten it up in that area for my knot. Has everybody got the hang of this now? Is it making sense? Do you have any questions? Okay, so after you've covered your cup, you're going to put your stainless steel. Do not do this with your Dollar Tree practice cups. In the oven at 200 for 10 minutes. Just to let it set the ink, and wait until the next day and put your glaze or your top coat. If you don't mind, now the Rust-Oleum spray that I said I didn't like because it changed the color. As far as the finish and the durability, I'm not having any problem with it. It's holding up. So it's sealed at that point, and you can put it in the dishwasher. But I liked, after doing some research, I did like the glazed look better. And you can make your knots as big or as small as you want to make them. And everybody has a different technique on doing them, so I mean, you'll find what works for you. Like I said, you want to wear gloves, because if not, this ink will stain your hand for days. You don't want to be handling this after. You want to let it sit over, like I said, in the oven and let it sit and cure. If it's sticky at all, don't be handling it. Wait. Give it a day, and then you can coat it. And you can keep your color light at this point in one area. This is the color I want in my cup. So if I'm going to put a logo on it, I would have put my vinyl down before I spray painted it if I wanted it to be stainless underneath. I would have done that. Or I will do a light area right here, put my logo down, and then after the logo goes on, then you'll want to darken it up and bring it up to the rest of the color of the cup, and then peel that off and bake it. And then you'll be ready for sealing. It is alcohol ink, for those of you asking. Ranger alcohol ink. This is the Tim Holtz Teakwood. I'm sorry, espresso. Teakwood is the one that had the yellow hue to it. In my opinion, it looks yellow. Everybody sees color differently. But it did look yellow to me. And I've heard reports, guys, I don't know, but if you're looking to try to make money on these cups and stuff, I haven't sold any because I don't do my crafts basically to sell. I do them on an as-order basis. But some people saying they're getting $50 and $75 for these cups. So I'm giving you a technique that you can do that could potentially make you money. However, I wouldn't make them except to order. Maybe make one or two, see if you like it, if it's worth it for you. I was really scared to do this, Bonnie. I got these two cups. I got both of these cups for $9 at Walmart. I have $4.50 in this cup, and the inks are just a few bucks. They're not much. And then a can of spray paint, what is $3, $4? And I have enough. I've still got paint left. I've done 2 cups and I still have paint left. It does take quite a bit of the ink to get your color down. But you see how light I have this compared to the rest? This is where I would do my logo. I would keep it light, put my logo on there, and then peel it off after I put my logo down, then darken the whole thing up, and then peel it off and bake it. And it seems like a lot. I say it's a lot of ink. I mean, this is a brand new bottle, and I'm still right here with it, guys. So you could probably, I don't know, until I've done several cups, I don't know how many cups you can get out of one bottle. If I get off camera, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get some light. and get a good look at what I've got going on. Just see where you need. And like I said, if you got an area that doesn't look like you think it should look or whatever, drop another drop of ink on it, or take your alcohol blending solution and blend it out and put more ink down. That's all you have to do. So there's really not anything to be scared of. You can, at this point, I could take and wipe alcohol, or take this and pour alcohol on it and erase everything I've done. Not that you would probably want to do that, but ooh, I didn't get a good coat of and I'm just trying to drag this through on the bottom from the sides to make it look like it's cohesive. I missed a spot with my paint. You want to make sure that you coat your cup really well. If you don't, the alcohol ink is not going to stick to it. Which I'll have to touch that up on the bottom because I missed it big time. But I'm basically just dragging this to match up the sides of the cup so that it's covered. You can see my spot right there that I missed. Wrong cap. I think it will wash off, Bonnie. But I haven't tried it because I didn't have really any issue with it. But at this point, I'll take this and I'll bake it at 200 for 10 minutes. Okay. And then I'll do my epoxy. You see what the blending solution does there. I don't want to have it too wet. Just put another little knot there. Wasn't quite dark enough for me. It still isn't. It's very easy to do too, Sue. I was really intimidated the first time I did it. And then I'm like, you know, this really is not that difficult. I'm not going to sit this in that alcohol. There we go. But again, wasn't dry. Make sure you don't do that. Make sure it's good and dry before you set it down. I'm going to turn it this way. And don't set it on any alcohol that you use. This is freezer paper. It has like a plastic coating so it doesn't go through to my table. But I'm going to bake that and then I'll let it rest until tomorrow. And tomorrow I will clear coat it. Okay. I'm not putting a logo on this one. But if I do, I can put it on afterwards like I did this one. And I'm still good to go. Does anybody have any questions on the technique now? You don't want to try it, Alice? It's really not that hard. It took about 30 minutes to do this to this point. Well, I'm going to say it took cleaning and painting 15 minutes, and now putting the technique color on there another 30 minutes. So I have about, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour in it. And then, of course, the glaze. That's going to take a little bit to dry. That's where your time's at. At 200 for 10 minutes, Debbie. just to set the ink. And like I said, it depends on which clear coat you're using. This one to me yellowed up my other cup, so I wasn't happy with that. So I'm going to try this one. And if you don't bake it, I've had some people say reports both of them changed the color or moved the color. The oven part scares you. That's not very warm, Bonnie. I mean, you could probably do it with your embossing gun, to be honest. I put mine on after, Wanda. You can put your decal on there before you do anything and then peel it off and it'll show the stainless of the cup under it. Or you can put your technique on very light in one area and put your decal on and then go over the area again and make it dark and then peel your decal off before you bake it. Or you can clear coat it and finish the cup and put your decal on after that. And if you're using this, some people are putting their decals on and then clear coating it with this after the oven. So right, your clear coat goes on after it's been baked for 10 minutes at 200 degrees. Just 10 minutes. That's all you're talking about, guys. But that's how you get that wood look, wood grain technique with the knots and things like that. I'll probably touch that up. That's a little light for me. So I'll just, and it's going to be nothing more than dropping another drop of ink on it and going over it. But this ink is from previous. It's not off the cup tonight. This is what I got on me yesterday. It's off of this cup, actually, because don't get this ink, guys. This is called Increda ink. And you see, every time I touch wherever it's at on this cup, it comes off on me. This ink does not work. It was a test and it doesn't work. It smells good. It smells like chocolate. The name of that is hot chocolate. And it smells like chocolate. They're scented inks. And they're supposed to be alcohol inks, but it doesn't work. It doesn't dry. Hey, Hilltop. That's okay. It'll be ready for playback in just a couple of hours. As soon as I finish, YouTube will process it and put it up automatically. You'll just look at mine, buddy. But it's a very easy technique to do, guys. Don't let it scare you. I don't know, Reba. I don't know if that would work or not. No, a heat embossing gun might because they get pretty warm. But just for it to do it evenly, I'm just putting mine on the rack in the oven for 10 minutes at 200 and calling it a day. And then I'll let it cool down and I'll probably wait until tomorrow. I like to give it a whole day to cure out. And then I'm going to put this on my cup tisserie and coat it with the high gloss sealer, epoxy. That way I know that no matter what, it's not going to change it. That epoxy will set on it. And because I've missed a spot, I'll probably put my logo on the bottom and seal it in. It is food safe, Bonnie. This is the blue box or purple box, whatever you want to call it. This is the food safe FDA. Amazing clear cast. That's what it is. They make two, and one is not food safe and one is. The name of the ink is the Tim Holtz alcohol ink. You get 3 in a pack, like this. And like this. So depending on what color you want as to what pack. This is the espresso, and I like it better than the teak. The teak has a yellow undertone to it to me. But it's Ranger's Tim Holtz alcohol ink. And I'll post a link to Amazon for it. Probably Blitzy has it too. I'll get you guys a link. The epoxy, Julie, is Amazing Clear Coat from Hobby Lobby. Okay, guys. Does anybody have any design space questions or anything they need answered on that? Anything on the technique, the boxes? Is everybody having any problems with any of their projects? Son, you're going to be happy with your mind. You want to delete one of your designs. How do you do it? Okay. Let me pull that up for you really quick here. Okay, when you go into Cricut Design Space, let me swap over here for you. Okay, so you're on Cricut Design Space and you want to delete a project. You're going to click View All from that page, and then you're going to go in. Let me see if I've got something I need to delete. Let's see. I can delete this one because I can do this again, and I made that for somebody I really didn't plan on making anymore. But you'll see 3 dots down here in the right hand corner. If you click on them, you can edit or delete. Now mine may look a little bit different because I am in Project Primrose, and it asked me to publish and things like that. So mine might look different, but you're just going to click on delete. It's going to ask you, and you're just going to say yes, and it's done. Done deal. How do you do heat embossing for a card, Bonnie? You're going to need, let's see, you're going to need your VersaFine ink, or an embossing Ranger makes an ink, but it's an embossing ink pad or pen, or, and I hope I'm getting this right, pigmented ink. Is that right, Jamie? Has to be pigmented? Not the dye, the other kind. Has to be some kind of, one of them will and one of them won't. Oh, you've got it all, but you're scared. Bonnie, don't be. Have you ever stamped a card? That's all it is. You're just stamping. Embossing ink or pigment ink. Thank you, Jamie. I thought that was right. You're just going to stamp up your, ink up your stamp with the embossing ink. Right. It's just like Jamie said, some are wet long enough. They have to be wet long enough for you to work with. You're going to have your card ready, your stamp ready, your embossing ink or pad. You're going to get your embossing powder, take your cap off, get your little coffee filter or paper under it, whatever, because you're going to save whatever falls off the card. You're going to put it back in the jar. Okay, so once you have everything ready and set out, you're going to dust your card with a dusting bag because there's a lot of static electricity in it, and you don't want a bunch of little fine tiny pieces hanging on. So you're going to dust the entire card surface with the embossing static bag. So once you've done that, then you're going to stamp it. Just like you would any other stamp, you're just using a different kind of ink. Then you're going to sprinkle your embossing powder off, and then you're going to dump off the excess, and it's going to stick where you stamped. And if you've got places that didn't stick well, you can put some more embossing powder on it and dump that off as well. Then you're going to use your heat embossing gun, and you're going to heat it up until it melts and bubbles. But you don't want to overheat it, because if you overheat it, you'll know it won't look nice and pretty and shiny. It's supposed to look like a nice, pretty, shiny plastic on top of the card. And I will cover that next week when we do the explosion box, because it won't take long to put the base together. When we do this, it won't take long to put this base together. So we will emboss something next week as well, just to take the fear out of that for you guys. Anybody else have any questions? Any project issues you need to cover? Oh, you won't need a glass of water for fire. The embossing gun, unless you hold it on there and set your paper on fire, it's not gonna catch fire. It would take a while. Pam, the file number for the Easter basket, let me go back over there. Everybody's saying it's not opening up, so I'm going to try it. I'm going to try something here. Okay. I'm going to sign out. I'm going to. It's going to ask me to sign in. 873-99511, and it opened right up for me. I don't know why. 837-99511. Thanks, Alice. I appreciate that. I don't want to leave anybody behind, and I don't want to leave anybody hanging with the project. So if nobody has anything, or you think of something after we're closed out the live, just come to the Facebook group and ask. We'll be happy to help you out. I appreciate all of you guys joining me. Wanda, congratulations on Winter Winter Chicken Dinner. Jamie, Sue, thank you so much for helping with the moderation tonight and in the groups every day, as always. Much appreciated. Wanda and Alice, thank you for helping me test this project this week, and Bonnie Brandis too. Bonnie is going to start doing some testing for me. She's going to help me coordinate and give me feedback. So I appreciate you doing that for me, Bonnie. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful night. Have a great weekend. I'm going to try to get out a project video this weekend for everybody. So look for that next week. As soon as I get it, it will go to the Patreons first, and then I'll release it the next day to everybody else. So if you're not a Patreon and you want to support me, go to www.patreon.com/craftingwithapril, and you can support me there. You're welcome, Pamela, Debbie, Alice, Dorothy, Kathy. Y'all have a wonderful time. Thanks for joining me tonight. I appreciate you guys very, very much. And thanks in advance to all of you Patreons who support me. You're welcome, Patricia. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys. Y'all have a wonderful weekend.